somewhere with scripts that you've been working on for 10 years? You have...
No, that's the thing. I mean, all of those things, all of the projects that I had that were interesting to me, I've ended up either making or had to accept that they were just never going to get made. So I don't have that drawer. Yeah.
Like the Eastern Promises, which you told me, and I love that movie so much, and I think it's a perfect little piece that could stand on its own and doesn't need a companion piece.
Yeah.
But I was interested to see what would happen with the part 2, and you tell me now that that's not going to happen.
That's right. That was the only movie I ever thought I might want to make a sequel. I wanted to see Nikolai, who was played by Viggo Mortensen, go back to Russia. He's a Russian in England, and we never see him in Russia, and I thought that would be really interesting. And but for all kinds of movie reasons, some of them Hollywood, it cannot happen.
Do we have other questions? Yeah, go right ahead here. Yeah.
I did. Second time.
About the violence in the film?
We're actually going to go to this guy first, and we'll get to you in a sec.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is the second time I've seen the film, and I love it. One thing I noticed watching it the first time is like this huge transformation that happens with Julianne Moore's character, Vanessa Grant, after Micah's death by drowning. And I started thinking about like the themes, like or the elements, these contrasting elements of water and fire. And I noticed she even sings a song about fire and water. I was just wondering, like, if that was, I haven't read Bruce Wagner's screenplay, but I was wondering if that was part of the original screenplay, and whether or not the scene with the immolation at the end has anything to do with some overlying kind of idea about transformation.
Do you go to film school? So the question is, I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. Are the elements of fire and water that are repeated throughout the film, were they in the original script, or did those themes develop as you got closer to shooting? Is that essentially?
Yeah. Like, I just noticed a lot of like transformations through fire
through fire and water.
Yeah, that was all Bruce, and that's all in the original script. Yeah, the theme of fire and water and all of that. Yeah, that's Bruce.
What about the last scene with the immolation? Was that also Bruce?
The last scene
Yes.
through immolation was
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
And then the other question: can you comment on the violence in the film? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Bruce wrote it, I mean, did you really see all that, or can you just talk about it?
So, did Bruce actually see the violence in the film? Can you comment on the violence in the film?
Well, I think there's really only one scene of violence, isn't there? Really, I mean, yeah, of course the Genie scene.
The Genie scene.
Of course, the self-immolation is violence in a different way, self-imposed violence, yes. But yeah, no, Bruce wrote that she would be bludgeoned to death by Agatha with a, I think, I don't know if it was supposed to be her mother's Golden Globe, perhaps. I can't remember in the script, but it was definitely a sort of an award statue. And I used the Genie that I won for Spider. And Mia hit it so hard that she bent it.
Really?
Yes. And I had to have it straightened. It's still a little crooked, which I guess makes sense. But, yeah, I thought, and I got permission from Sorel Etrog, who was this wonderful sculptor who sculpted that statuette, which is still the best award ever. You know, in terms of the details of how many times she hits Havana and how much blood is on her face and all of that, of course, that's the director who does that. But in essence, it was as Bruce wrote it. Yeah.
Well, but the brother beating up the kid, and even the fire that we don't see at the beginning.
The brother.
The Evan Bird's character beating up the young actor.
Oh yes,
choking
yeah.
the young.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was in the script too. Yes, you're right. That is definitely violence, and it was as Bruce wrote it. That namely that he is hallucinating, and he thinks it's this ghost girl who's continuing to haunt him, out of guilt that that he was using her for publicity, and she died, and that he, of course, he's also jealous of his co-star, so he blends the two. He's just as you saw it, and doesn't kill him, but almost does.